So gout is grouped under a group of disorder known as crystal deposition disorder. Okay. So how to define gout? Gout is an example of crystal deposition type of arthritis in which monosodium urate or uric acid crystal, in simple word is known as monosodium urate or uric acid crystal, is precipitated, okay, in the synovial fluid and deposited in the various anatomical regions of the joint. Okay. The gout is actually, okay, in most of the cases it starts as the acute type of arthritis, severe acute pain. Okay. And this episode will last for a short period of the time. Gradually, patient will recover. Okay. And patient has recovered or is relieved of pain. It doesn't mean that he's not suffering from gout. Okay. So he may still have a gout, but there is a period known as intercritical period. So acute attack followed by intercritical period, and that will be again followed by chronic type of gout, which is characterized by deposition of aggregations of uric acid crystals forming a mass, which is known as gouty tophi, TOPHI, tophi. Okay. So gout is a crystal deposition disorder, okay, in which there is deposition of uric acid crystal, which is better known as monosodium urate, in the joint, okay, in the different anatomical regions of the joint, thereby producing severe pain, acute type of gout or gouty arthritis. Okay. Now, gout or acute gout differs from the other types of arthritis like rheumatoid arthritis, osteoarthritis, okay, due to certain very important differentiating features. So that is, majority of the cases of gout, more than 50% of the cases, the uric acid crystals are deposited in selected joints, that is the big toe, metatarsophalangeal joint of the big toe. Okay. So खुट्टाको जुन बुढी अङ्गुला हुन्छ है, that is the most common site of uric acid deposition or gout. So once it is deposited, it will produce acute type of symptom, severe pain in that toe, highly tender, redness, okay, and the pain is very severe, that is intolerable by the patient. That is one of the characteristic feature of gout or acute gout, early or the acute stage of the gout. Okay. But gradually gout pain does not last, okay, last for 1 week, about 8 to 10 days, and that will be followed by that will change into chronic type of tophi lesions or the chronic gout, you can say. Okay. So majority of the cases must say big toe involved, but other joints are also involved. Okay. Other bigger joints may also be involved, like the ankle joint, knee joint, okay, sometimes even elbow joints, and there is deposition of these crystals in the tendon, cartilages, okay, producing a nodular mass, which is known as gouty tophi, TOPHI, tophi. Okay, so this is the definition of gout. Now let us come to the types or causes, etiopathogenesis. Okay. Majority of the gout, 80-90% of the 80% usually ones of the gout, the cause is unknown. Okay, or what causes? What is the actual etiopathogenesis? That is not yet clear. Okay, but one thing is there. Okay, so gout will occur if the uric acid level in the serum will exceed 7 mg per deciliter. Okay, normal range के हुन्छ uric acid को about 3 to 6.8. So 7 mg भन्दा बढी भयो भने crystallization हुन्छ. So solubility of the uric acid crystal or monosodium urate will be lost. So it will change into the crystal form. So these crystal, needle-like crystals, they will be deposited. Okay, synovial membrane ma, tendon ma, cartilage ma, deposit huna talcha. Clear? So 80% of the gout is primary gout, where the cause is unknown. What causes increase in the level of the uric acid is unknown. Okay, but actually there are certain types of hereditary or congenital disorder. Enzyme defect, okay, enzyme defect, X-linked enzyme defects, autosomal recessive enzyme defects, which is caused by the mutation in the gene, and that is inherited from the parents. Okay, so there is a syndrome. There is a syndrome which is known as Lesch-Nyhan, NYHN, Lesch-Nyhan syndrome. Okay, so Lesch-Nyhan syndrome is characterized by the deficiency of an enzyme HPGRT, hypoxanthine guanine pyrophosphate reductase enzyme. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is that 80% of the cases of gout, the cause of increased uric acid level or hyperuricemia is unknown. Clear? Yota boy. Now the remaining 10% of the cases, okay, 10 to 20% of the cases, there are predisposing causes. Okay, so predisposing causes like different types of leukemias, lymphoma, or the कुनै पनि अब cancer को treatment हरू गरिराखेको छ भने, okay, antimitotic drugs are given. Okay, so that causes lysis of the cell. So whenever there is destruction or lysis of the cell, cell will break down and they will release the nucleic acid. Nucleus को nucleic acid release गर्छ. Okay, nucleic acid undergoes further metabolic degradation and purine base हरू आउँछ, and this purine base बाट फेरि uric acid crystal will be produced. Okay, so 80% of the cases the causes are unknown, but still if we go into the details, we can demonstrate certain hereditary or congenital disorder which is characterized by the deficiency of certain enzymes which causes metabolism of the uric acid. Okay, so primary cause, secondary cause. Clear? So the types of gout, pathologically gout can be primary or secondary, just like the other pathological disorders. Clear? Now let us discuss something, how uric acid is produced. Uric acid is produced from purine bases. Purine bases bhane thaha chaina, biochemistry ma padha hola. Okay, so purine bases, whenever they are metabolized through different pathways, so they produce purine bases, they produce uric acid crystal. Okay, now uric acid is produced by two different metabolic pathway. Detail huncha actually, one is de novo pathway and the other is the salvation pathway or salvage pathway bhancha. Okay, so de novo pathway ma ke huncha bhane, de novo pathway ma chahi purine bases, they are not metabolized de novo pathway ma. Okay, र salvage pathway ma chahi uric acid is produced due to the metabolic degradation of the purine bases. Okay, so salvation pathway ko source के हुन्छ, diet. Okay, meat है, meat पनि भयो जति पनि red meat हरू त्यो सबहरू. Okay, so that is metabolized through the salvage pathway. र अर्को चाहिँ है source of salvage pathway is त्यो purine bases, है, purine bases. Clear? So what I'm trying to say is that whether it is the de novo pathway or the salvage pathway is very important, because salvage pathway ma chahi enzymatic deficiency, Lesch-Nyhan syndrome ma salvage pathway is abnormal. Okay, so के हुन्छ भने uric acid accumulate गर्दै जान्छ, uric acid level बढ्छ. Okay, अर्को salvage pathway के important छ भने you must be knowing uric acid or gout भएको पेशेन्टले हामीले मासु नखान भन्छौँ, red meat नखाऊ भन्छौँ. Okay, because red meat contains है अब the nucleic acid हरू purine bases degraded by uric acid बढाउँछ. Okay, because salvation pathway को through metabolize हुन्छ dietary source बाट uric acid. Okay, so this will be unnecessary detail, try to understand if you can understand, okay, by reading. So gout is caused by hyperuricemia, increased uric acid level. So uric acid level, once it goes above 7 mg per deciliter, it cannot be rendered in soluble form, okay, synovial fluid ma, so it will be crystallized, crystalloid form ma jन्छ and it will be precipitated. The precipitation bhayeपछि it will be deposited, producing acute gout. Clear? So there are different predisposing causes. There are certain factors which cause crystallization of the uric acid and cause onset of the gout, acute gout. Okay, so what are those factors? First is temperature of the body or the skin. So acral part, peripheral part of the body, है जस्तै कि अब toes भयो, big toe भयो, skin भयो, air lobule भयो यो हैन. So these are the areas where the temperature is very low. Okay, so low temperature भयो भने crystallization बढी हुन्छ. Crystallization and precipitation of uric acid is occurring more, and so it will be deposited, producing acute gout. Clear? So temperature is very important. Clear? Second is pH. pH भन्दाखेरि acidic. Uric acid hyperuricemia or the gout is also characterized. Uric acid passes through the kidney glomeruli. Okay, so uric acid level body भएको बेलामा these crystallization may occur within the tubules, renal tubules and the pelvis of the ureter. So acidic pH body भयो भने है, concentration body भयो भने, and this will cause formation of stones, uric acid stones हुन्छ. Okay, so hyperuricemia may also lead to the formation of the type of stone which is known as the uric acid stone in the kidney. So यति भयो हैन. So these two factors are important. Temperature भयो, pH भयो. अर्को के हुन्छ भने है, अब certain patients, obese patient, moto patient, a patient who are taking alcohol, patient who are alcoholic taking all, and consumption of alcohol may suddenly increase the risk of developing acute gout. Okay, so this is another factor. Moto patient, obese patients also, okay, who are suffering from increased uric acid level, acute gout attack may occur. Clear? So this is insert about the etiopathogenesis of gout. Boy, clear boy, I think. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Now, whenever uric acid crystal is deposited, synovial membrane ma, या articular cartilage ma, या bone ma, okay, these crystals are taken off by the phagocytes, macrophages. Macrophages are present everywhere. अब हाम्रो टिस्युमा हुन्छ फिक्स्ड मैक्रोफेजेस, ब्लडमा हुन्छ मोनोसाइट्स. ओके, सो क्रिस्टल डिपोजिसन भयो भने दैट इज फैगोसाइटोज बाय द मैक्रोफेजेस. ओके, र मैक्रोफेज भित्र सेन्सर हुन्छ. देयर आर सर्टेन मलिक्युल्स व्हिच आर नोन एज इन्फ्लामोजोम भन्छ त्यसलाई. ओके, सो दिस सेन्सर मलिक्युल्स इन्फ्लामोजोम, ओके, they sense the presence of uric acid crystal within the macrophages. Okay, so it becomes activated, macrophage, so it will produce interleukins, cytokines. Okay, so cytokines ma sabbhanda important ke huncha interleukin 1. So interleukin 1, as you know, interleukin 1, okay, is produced by the macrophages as well as the lymphocytes. So interleukin 1 will attract the neutrophils, polymorphonuclear leukocytes, at the site of crystal deposition, thereby causing severe acute type of arthritis. So this is how acute gouty arthritis, acute onset of severe pain and swelling inflammation occurs in the joint, especially big toe. Clear? Repeatedly, एकपल्ट के हुन्छ uric acid crystal अब मेडिसिनहरु दिएर you can decrease the uric acid crystal, but it cannot be cured. Okay, so patient will continue to have a 7 mg भन्दा uric acid बढ्यो कि patient will have a repeated and recurrent attack of gout. Okay, so this after month and years, एक वर्ष, 2 वर्ष, 3 वर्षपछि के हुन्छ भने repeated deposition of uric acid crystal will produce a mass which is known as the gouty tophy भन्छ. Okay, the gouty tophy ma ke dekhincha bhane uric acid crystal, if you see, they are the needle like pointed crystal like, but gouty tophy ma there is collection of a large number of such crystal, so it will produce a mass. Okay, so presence of a deposition of crystals, and this will be surrounded by the chronic inflammatory cells, round cells and giant cell, reparative giant cells, So all these structures will produce a lesion which is known as gouty tophy. Cartilage मा हुन्छ gouty tophy. Okay, हाम्रो यो एयर मा छ नि जुन कार्टिलेज त्यहाँ डिपोजिसन हुन्छ. क्लियर? त्यसै गरेर नी जोइन्ट नी जोइन्ट मा डिपोजिसन हुन्छ gouty tophy कार्टिलेज मा. Okay, so now let us come to the clinical features. So morphologically gout can be divided into acute gout. Okay, त्यसपछि chronic gout भन्नु or gouty tophy भन्नु. Okay, अनि थर्ड मा चाहिँ gout nephropathy or involvement of the kidney by the gout. So acute gouty arthritis, as I told, I have already told the pathogenesis र के हुन्छ. Acute gouty arthritis is characterized by sudden acute excruciating pain भन्छ, severe pain in the toes or the other joints. कहिलेकाहीँ के हुन्छ भने 50% of the case मा त actually big toe is involved. Okay, severe pain हुन्छ, patient will complain of intolerable pain. If you look at the pain, it will be joint, it will be red, inflamed. टच गर्न पनि हुँदैन, त्यति पेन हुन्छ. But remaining 50% of the cases, gouty arthritis presents in the knee joint, ankle joint, elbow joint. Okay, or sometimes these crystals may be deposited on the fascia. हाम्रो fascia जुन हुन्छ surface of the palm of the foot त्यहाँ इन्भल्भ हुन्छ. So pain, patient will complain of pain on the sole of the foot. Okay, severe pain. So that is due to the deposition of these crystals in the fascial tissue of the sole of the foot. Okay. र सेकेन्डमा के हुन्छ भने एउटा चीज मैले भन्न बिर्से. ओके, क्लिनिकली there are different stages of gout. So first stage is asymptomatic hyperuricemia. So patient may continue to have an increased uric acid level 7, 8, 9, 10 भइरहेको छ without any symptom. Okay, so that stage is known as asymptomatic hyperuricemia. Clear? So that is the early stage. 2 वर्ष 4 वर्ष 5 वर्षसम्म पेशेन्टलाई भइरहेको छ इन्क्रिज यूरिक एसिड लेभल, ब्लड टेस्ट गरे, अब पेन नभइकन पेशेन्ट आउँदैन. ओके, सो एसिम्प्टोमेटिक हाइपरयुरिसेमिया भन्छ त्यसलाई. सेकेन्ड स्टेजमा चाहिँ सिम्प्टोमेटिक एक्यूट गाउट. ओके, सो इन दैट केस देयर विल बी डिपोजिसन एन्ड द पेशेन्ट विल डेभलप एक्यूट आर्थराइटिस. थर्ड स्टेज इज इंटरक्रिटिकल स्टेज. इंटरक्रिटिकल स्टेज will also last for a month and year. So during this stage also patient will be asymptomatic, no symptom, केही पनि pain हुँदैन, nothing will be, and this can last for a month and years. So third stage भयो. Fourth stage मा चाहिँ अनि chronic gout or the gouty tophy. Okay, the patient may present with a large nodular masses. एयर मा हुन्छ कहिलेकाहीँ त्यो फुट मा हुन्छ, एंकल जोइन्ट मा हुन्छ, एल्बो जोइन्ट मा हुन्छ, लार्ज नोडुलर मासेज मे appear. त्यसको बायोप्सी निकाल्यो भने you can see the deposition of crystals and the inflammatory reaction. So that is known as gouty tophy. अनि फोर्थ मा चाहिँ स्टेज मा चाहिँ uric acid nephropathy भन्छ. Okay, so patient if has not received any treatment and all that, so he may continue to have a hyperuricemia and all these will be deposited in the kidney. So kidney ma deposit हुँदा त कसैलाई stone develop हुन्छ, uric acid stone develop हुन्छ सानो सानो. Okay, or some patient एकदमै अब ignore गरेछ, केयर गरेछ भने he may develop nephropathy, kidney failure हुन्छ. Clear? So this is insert about the gout. भयो, बुझ्यो यति? So any question if you want to ask with regard to gout, please ask. So is there any? So things are clear, everything is clear now? Hello?
Yes.
So now we can start today's topic. Okay, osteomyelitis. So simple word, osteomyelitis means inflammation. Osteomyelitis can be defined as the inflammation of the bone and the bone marrow. So presence of infection, bacteria, bacterial organism in the bone as well as within the bone, that is the bone marrow. Okay, this is how we define osteomyelitis. Now, osteomyelitis can be caused by, mostly it is caused by the bacteria, different types of bacteria, mostly pus-producing pyogenic bacteria, most commonly. Okay, but osteomyelitis can also be caused by fungi, right? And certain viruses, parasites. Okay, so causes of osteomyelitis, right? Mostly bacteria, but it can also be caused by infection, can also be caused by certain types of fungi, parasites, viruses. Okay, so practically bacteria mostly in practice. Now, osteomyelitis can be divided into three types, right? Clinically or pathologically: acute osteomyelitis, subacute osteomyelitis, and chronic osteomyelitis. Okay, just like inflammation, acute inflammation, subacute inflammation, right? And the chronic type of inflammation. Clear? So osteomyelitis can also be acute type of osteomyelitis, अर्को सबैको टाइप हुन्छ, and अर्को chronic type of osteomyelitis. So most important is the acute type of osteomyelitis. Acute type of osteomyelitis is also known as pyogenic type of osteomyelitis, because 80 to 90% of the organisms which cause acute type of osteomyelitis, they produce pus, pyogenic. So it is known as the pyogenic type of osteomyelitis. Okay, so we'll try to discuss, we'll start with the acute pyogenic type of osteomyelitis, KO. Okay, so first is the route of infection. Infection कसरी जान्छ? Clear? So first, most important route of infection of the bone is hematogenous route. So hematogenous के हुन्छ भने, suppose the patient is already suffering from certain type of infection, pneumonia भएको छ है, एब्डोमिनल इन्फेक्सन भएको छ, मेनिन्जाइटिस भएको छ है, अरु सब सेप्टिसेमिया भएको छ भने है, so through the blood organism may reach the bone, different bones है, larger bones हरु usually हाम्रो एक्सट्रिमिटीज को भयो, ह्यान्ड को भयो, भर्टिब्राहरु भयो. ओके, so those bones मा चाहिँ through hematogenous route organism bacteria will reach there and establish there, producing osteomyelitis. Okay, so first is the hematogenous route. Second is the infection spreading from the nearby sites. Okay, suppose अब soft tissue infection भयो हैन, हाम्रो अब abscess form भयो skin मा, okay, large cellulitis भयो, ट्रिटमेन्ट गरेन त्यसलाई हैन, सर्जिकल ट्रिटमेन्ट गरेन, एन्टिबायोटिक्सहरु खाएन भने that infection, especially in children, young children, will go deep into the bone, okay, and cause infection in the bone. So that is known as the second route, is known as the spread by contiguity from nearby inflamed, okay, structures. Clear? Second one, third मा चाहिँ from external route, trauma, certain accidents हरु भयो route मा है, injury भयो, severe injury भयो भने, skin भयो, सब tissue हरु damage भयो भने है, treatment गरेन, care गरेन भने है, from external or roadside accidents भयो है, bullet injury भयो. So infection can go deep from the skin, can go deep into the bone. So that is the infection coming from outside or through the wound. Right? Infliction भयो, wound भयो, right? Injury भयो, त्यसबाट आउँछ. So these are the three different routes through which infection can reach the bone. Okay. Now let us come to the organism. Organism, majority of the cases of acute type of osteomyelitis is caused by the most common ubiquitous organism, which is Staphylococcus aureus. Okay. Staphylococcus aureus मा के हुन्छ भने हाम्रो bone मा different parts of bone matrix मा there are certain receptors. So those receptors ले गर्दाखेरि staphylococci can be attracted towards the bone, different components of the bone, and they can fix their establish there, causing osteomyelitis. Okay, so the commonest organism is Staphylococcus aureus. Clear? Now the other organisms could be gram-negative organisms, UTI cause गर्ने, E. coli, Proteus, Klebsiella, the hospital मा Pseudomonas, okay, Aerozonosa. So all those organisms can also cause pyogenic type of osteomyelitis. Clear? Second important thing is So osteomyelitis depending upon the age. अब newborn है, newborn child में osteomyelitis भएको छ भने है, depending upon the environment, the organisms could be है mostly group B streptococci हुन्छ. Haemophilus influenza and the group B streptococci are the common organisms which can cause osteomyelitis in the newborn child or the neonates. Okay. अर्को चिल्ड्रेनहरुमा के हुन्छ भने बोनको तिमीहरुलाई याद होला है, bone has got three part, epiphysis, metaphysis and diaphysis. Okay, so metaphysis is the developing bone है, त्यो child मा newborn child मा हुन्छ usually metaphyseal region है, so which is between the epiphysis and the diaphysis. So children मा, young children मा है bone infection गयो भने, so most of the blood vessels, through the blood vessels, infection reaches the metaphyseal region of the bone. So metaphyseal region of the bone anatomically is the common site of osteomyelitis, especially in children. Okay, र children grow भयो भने, adult भयो भने metaphysis है ossification भएर it disappears. Okay, so it fuses with the epiphysis. Okay, so adult मा चाहिँ है epiphyseal region of the bone is involved. So this is due to the blood vessels or blood supply to these regions. र epiphyseal region मा osteomyelitis भएको छ भने है usually this infection may reach the joint, adjoining joint, thereby causing inflammation of the joint. So that is pyogenic है, pyogenic arthritis भन्छ त्यसलाई. Clear? Now so this is how the infection establishes in the bone. Okay, now let us try to discuss pathogenesis. के हुन्छ morphological changes in the bone मा के हुन्छ. Okay, in pyogenic type of osteomyelitis. In children, especially in children, if the infection has reached or involved the bone, metaphyseal region या epiphyseal region भित्र गयो भने है, so bacteria proliferate हुन थाल्छ. Okay, so neutrophils start appearing, so they produce pus, purulent pus, and this pus is accumulated between the periosteum and the bone matrix. Children of periosteum is very weak. Okay, so this pus is collected in the subperiosteal region, in between the bone and the periosteum, subperiosteal region. Okay, so severe infection भएको छ भने, okay, so these organisms they pass through the bone, longitudinally bone मा pass गर्न थाल्छ, through the Haversian system हुन्छ bone मा हैन. So they provide the easy access to these organisms, so it may spread within the bone longitudinally. Clear? Children most commonly infection localizes in between the bone and the periosteum, subperiosteal region मा. Okay, so त्यहाँ accumulation भयो भने pressure develops. So due to the accumulation of pus, जहाँ पनि accumulation भयो भने high pressure हुन्छ. Okay, it will try to destroy the surrounding tissue, necrosis भएर है आफ्नो track बनाउँछ हैन. So in acute osteomyelitis pyogenic, collection of large amount of subperiosteal abscess or the pus, okay, will push the periosteum outward. Okay? So this will obstruct the blood supply. So this will affect the blood vessels which pass through the bone, periosteum. Okay, so blood supply to the bone is compromised. Right? So avascular necrosis, ischemic necrosis occurs. So that area of the bone undergoes ischemic necrosis. Okay, ischemic necrosis one side, osteomyelitis. So dead piece of bone, at the point where acute pyogenic osteomyelitis has occurred. So this dead piece of bone in osteomyelitis is known as sequestrum. Okay, so acute osteomyelitis can remain for 48 hours usually. ठीक छ, र third day मा 48 hours पछि चाहिँ है bone destroy हुन थाल्छ, necrosis. So it changes into 48 hours पछि subacute type of osteomyelitis हुन्छ. Okay, so subacute type of osteomyelitis को period upon, if treatment is not given and all that, so this will change into chronic type of osteomyelitis. Okay, so all these changes occur within days, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days भित्र नि है chronic osteomyelitis develop हुन्छ. and that piece of the bone, that area of the bone will die, and that is known as sequestrum. sequestrum. Sequestrum is defined as the dead piece of bone, okay, and that is mostly seen in osteomyelitis. Okay. Now सबैकुट पछि क्रोनिक स्टेज आउँछ है. क्रोनिक स्टेज आउँदाखेरि के हुन्छ भने साइड बाई साइड है, अब नेक्रोसिस भयो भने द सराउन्डिङ नर्मल टिस्यू है हिलिङ विल स्टार्ट. ओके, so reparative changes will occur, right? Surrounding normal tissue will start regenerating, so new blood vessels will form, gradually fibrosis पनि हुन थाल्छ. Okay, so this dead piece of bone, sequestrum, will be covered by the new bone, new regenerating or reparative bony tissue. This will form a layer. Reparative new bone will surround the dead piece of bone or the sequestrum. Okay, so that is known as involucrum. INVOLUCR, involucrum ones. Okay, so sequestrum is the dead piece of bone, and if dead piece of bone is surrounded by the regenerating or the newly formed blood vessels, newly formed bony tissue, that is known as involucrum. Okay, so sequestrum, involucrum. So I have described already sequences of osteomyelitis, how the acute pyogenic osteomyelitis gradually after 48 hours subacute stage भयो, subacute type, and this will change into chronic type of osteomyelitis. The chronic type of osteomyelitis is mainly characterized by the formation of sequestrum and involucrum. Clear? Now, if you examine the surface of the skin, just like a patient child is suffering from pyogenic osteomyelitis, changing into chronic osteomyelitis, so sinus tract can be seen. Skin surfaces ma to organisms penetrate garda garda skin ko surface ma aisakya cha. They already have formed a tract, okay, sinus tract, which connects that bone, pieces of bone, dead pieces of bone with the surface of the skin. Okay, so usually के हुन्छ भने अब कंट्री साइडमा भिलेज साइडमा पेशेन्टमा ट्रिटमेन्ट गर्दैन, दे कम आफ्टर 2 weeks 3 weeks पछि है. So we can see the presence of open wound or the opening of the sinuses on the surface of the skin. एक्सरे गर्यो भने है भित्र चाहिँ त्यो पुरा बोन नि है डेड भइसकेको हुन्छ, सिक्वेस्ट्रम डेभलप भइसकेको हुन्छ. Okay, so this is insert about the pyogenic type of osteomyelitis. Okay, now there are other important examples of chronic type of osteomyelitis. Okay, so chronic type of osteomyelitis most common अहिले पनि developing country मा common छ is tuberculosis, tuberculous osteomyelitis, chronic type of osteomyelitis. Okay, so some important things about the tuberculous osteomyelitis. So involvement of the bone in tuberculosis may occur during childhood. It's very common, countryside ma jaha poor sa patient haru hygiene state is very poor, undernourished cha bhane tuberculosis long huncha paile, primary foci, primary tuberculosis of the lung huncha. Okay, the patient not receiving treatment, gradually bone will be involved through the hematogenous route, especially long tuberculosis cha bhane, okay, through hematogenous route those tubercle organism may reach the bone, ribs ma, sternum ma, vertebra सबभन्दा कमन हुन्छ. vertebra गएर this tubercle bacilla will cause through hematogenous route, they will establish in the bone, thereby causing tuberculous osteomyelitis. Okay, so involvement of the vertebral spine by the tubercle organism, okay, is known by a name, Pott's disease once, POTT''GS, Pott's disease. Okay, Pott's disease is the involvement of the vertebral bodies by the tuberculosis, and this is very common. Okay, this is one of the way vertebra are involved भयो भने treatment गरेन भने gradually the cartilage, articular cartilage in between the vertebra will collapse or will be destroyed. Okay, so patient will develop neuropathy. There will be pressure on the nerve roots which are originating in between the vertebra through the vertebral foramina. Okay, सो ट्युबरकुलोसिस है बोनमा पनि हुन्छ हैन, भर्टिब्रामा मोस्ट कमनली इन्भल्भ हुन्छ, अदर बोन्स मे अल्सो बी इन्भल्भ है, लङ बोन्सहरू पनि इन्भल्भ हुन्छ. सो द्याट इज द एक्जाम्पल अफ क्रोनिक टाइप अफ osteomyelitis. Another bacteria which can cause chronic osteomyelitis is syphilitic bacteria. Syphilis, as I believe, there is increase in the again resurgence of syphilis. So due to the rapidly migrating population, syphilis incidence is also increasing. Usually syphilis में क्या होता है, congenital, some children, a mother is suffering from syphilis, she may spread the infection to the fetus, growing fetus within the uterus. So the child will born with congenital syphilis. Okay. So congenital syphilis भएको child born भयो भने usually के हुन्छ भने this Treponema pallidum organisms, they proliferate in the endochondral bone. So they cause chondroosteitis, involvement of the endochondral bone. Okay. र endochondral bone involved भयो भने bone develop हुँदैन पूरा. Okay. So child born with congenital syphilis, okay, they may develop, there will be involvement of the bones, especially growing bones. The bone cannot ossify. So mostly it involves the periosteal region or endochondral bone part. So tibia is most commonly involved. Okay, so tibia becomes bent as the child grows, because bone ossified भएको छैन, grow गरेको छैन, so this tibia becomes bent. Like this, bow leg भन्छ त्यसलाई, saber tibia भन्छ, SABRE, saber tibia भन्छ. So child may develop that is saber tibia. So this is an example of chronic type of osteomyelitis caused by the Treponema pallidum. Okay. र osteomyelitis चाहिँ इम्पोर्टेन्ट छ है, pathogenic osteomyelitis कमन पनि छ है, एन्ड ट्रिटमेन्ट चाहिँ गिभन अन टाइम है, the child को है त्यो लिम्बहरू हैन, बोनहरू चाहिँ क्यान बी सेभ्ड. ओके, यति हो. म फटाफट मैले आई ट्राई टु फिनिश. नाउ आस्क है, अब क्वेसन सोधे हुन्छ. इफ यु वान्ट है, इफ एनीथिङ इज नट क्लियर प्लिज आस्क है, आई क्यान रिपिट इट. एनी क्वेसन है रिगार्डिङ गाउट, रिगार्डिङ osteomyelitis, यु क्यान आस्क. अझ पनि टाइम छ.